Hi guys, my name is Meads. This is going to be my picks for 2015. I actually have a couple of categories which we'll go over. But before we get to that, I would like to thank all my viewers out there. You guys are great. All the support and interaction through the comments, the questions. Yep, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And I've been making videos through YouTube, and it's a means for me, kind of like my toy journal, and it's kind of hard to keep track actually, and I have to go through my uploads to check out which one I've done for 2015. There's over a dozen. It's quite a bit. But anyways, yeah, let's get into it. Some of this might have, well, actually, some of the figures could have been easily been on another category. Some of them are numbered. I don't know if you can see that small font, but it's kind of like a mashup. There's really no ranking system here. It's just part of that list, and it's really hard since I collect a wide variety of things, ranging for something like a candy toy, and then towards hot toys, the expensive stuff, and ranging from building mold kits and to some diecast or Chogokin. So it varied a lot, and among animes, domestic toys, yeah. Anyways, let's get to this. So I have 4 categories. We have the bottom list, then I also have the overpriced, and also have the notable ones, and I have the top one. And let's see how this goes. So let's start with the bottom one. Here we go. Again, in any order. The first one I have, let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger here. Way to zoom this in. There we go. Alright, so part of my bottom of my list is Sentinels Tatsunoko Heroes, the fighting gear. I think that's the series. And I'm not too fond of this. I'm a big fan of Sentinel, don't get me wrong. I like their other figure lines, especially the Re-Edit and the Metamorphose. But this in particular didn't quite work out for me. Just the diecast pieces actually weighs down the figure. It would be great if it's lightweight, like what they did on other figures they have without the diecast, and make it very poseable. And will be great if they also included more accessories, but not on this one. Especially on the cape on the Gatchaman one, the eagle. I wish there was some kind of way to make it like that, but I have to create my own kind of like a wing or cape stand. Yeah, and the knees, just this joint, this doesn't quite work out for me. It's a nice figure, but it just, yeah, and plus the price also, so it just doesn't justify for what I'm getting. Next one we have, I gotta figure out a way to, there we go. The next one is Frame Robo, and this is a nice take on creating, those candy toys. I'm not sure, I can't remember if there was candy on this one, but it's around that $10 price range of easy to assemble. I like the concept where everything is in one tray. Unfortunately, the execution of this, a lot of the joint doesn't match up. It's really hard to kit bash something other than what's given to you. So that's the drawback. Yeah, and especially the Mars one, it's very rigid. It's not as good as the other two in the the first 3 that got released. So that's that. Next up, we have NX Edge Style Strike Freedom. I think this is the first one, and actually the least favorite of mine out of the line. I do like NX Edge Style, not this one though. I think mainly because they use that soft rubbery plastic, which is great on some of them, but not the white piece. It looks really cheap, and actually it feels lacking. You have to line it to make it actually decent. So this is my least favorite, but other than that, the other lines are pretty great. Next up, we have Kotsubukiya's Eren Yeager. Now, this particular mold kit It's actually a bit overpriced. I think it was like around $30, and yeah, you're just basically getting a humanoid, well, the Titan form. It's about, I think, 6-inch, 1/12 scale. Has actually really nice painted the face and the sculpts, but everything else you're gonna get this really bland plastic, and yeah, it's it's actually hard to line it too, or actually make it look as cool. So for what you're getting, it feels lacking. Other than if you're really good at customizing it, actually customize it to, for something else, which some of you have seen. But it just doesn't quite work out as a kit for what it was made. Yeah, so unfortunately, I'm not too sold on this one. But actually, it's still an in-demand mold kit that people want to get this, but it's just hard to get now. Next one, we have Aardman, well, this is the Armorized Aardman by Sentinel. This made it on the bottom of the list for a few reasons. It's not to scale with the re-edit line. I think they just kind of made this like a one-off before they made the re-edit line. I'm not too fond of the die-cast, the painted die-cast joints. I scrape off the ankle on his, and some, like the shoulder, the way you have to move it, it doesn't quite work out. So articulation is quite limited. And just for everything else, and actually it's quite pricey too, it just doesn't quite work. Although it has a nice Tony Stark's sculpt, the face, which is great, but it just doesn't quite work out for me. So it made it my bottom of my list. Next one. Some of you probably know this already. This is the Revol Mini Soviet Soldier. What a letdown. I thought it's gonna be fully articulated like the other Revol Minis, but unfortunately it is a bit of a statue. Yeah, it's somewhat of a static figure, but it was able to pull off some poses which you kind of what's needed, but it feels could have been better if it was fully articulated. And it's also kind of a bit expensive. I think it was like around $40 to $50. So for a Revol Mini for that price and for what you're getting, yeah, it's doesn't work out for me. I think that's it for the bottom of the list. And let's move on to the next one, which is, all right, overpriced. Let's just go with overpriced. Actually, there's actually more. I have a lot of overpriced figures that I buy right off, or actually pre-order them. But here we go. Here's the first one, the Sentinels Dan Kuga. Now this is an amazing figure. Don't get me wrong, it's really nice. The major fallback, or drawback actually, is the price point. It's close to 400 bucks if you consider, if you added the shipping and everything. But I don't know, maybe you can get it for clearance, but still, it's a really expensive figure. It's really nice. I think it was about 10-inch. Could easily be a 1-foot figure with the wings. A lot of awesome diecast parts. It's overall a great figure, but just the price point. That's the only holding probably a lot of people off. But yeah, that's why I made in this list. Next one. Tetsuya's Batman. It's a Play Arts guy. It's my most expensive Play Arts figure for now, although I think there's one coming out which is another expensive Batman. My fascination with Play Arts Kai Batmans. Getting tongue-tied there. Anyways, for this one, yes, it's quite expensive, around 250 bucks. Is it worth it? It's marginal. The figure itself is great. I really liked it. It's unique. It kind of reminds me of Batman Beyond, but even more. Has that just weird looking design, like Dark Souls kind of theme, like evil. But it looks really cool. I like it. But yeah, quite expensive. Next one, we have the first Good Smile Arms chamber. So this is the first. Well, I'm not sure. They actually made other robots before, but this is probably the first one, yeah, really made with this particular line. It is quite expensive. I think it's about 150 for something like this, and I think it's about like 6-8 inch in height. It's really detailed. I really like that spear he has, and all the effect parts and gimmicks, and it's actually fully articulated too. Just not for that price point. I think it would have been better if it was around 100, but then again, probably through licensing and whoever designed this, probably that's why he has a hefty price point. I'm just hoping the price stays there, it doesn't go on clearance, and I'm gonna, I paid full price of that. And next one, Sentinel. Keep getting back to Sentinel. So Sentinel made Jehudi, the first one. Well, one of the initial releases of Sentinel products. Then they finally made Anubis, which is great. And also I'm wondering why they made it, because I don't think Jehudi made such an impact before. But well, lately Sentinel has been getting more popularity with their edit line. But with this one, Anubis, it's a $200 price point or even more. Just too much. And for what I'm getting, it's a great figure. As you know, most Sentinel products are, but actually Jehudi is a lot better in my opinion. But yeah, it's just too expensive. And there we go, next one. If you're wondering, I just took a screenshot from my YouTube videos. I can't remember where I have the actual pictures I took. My Facebook page actually doesn't have them all. I think I started Facebook or got active on it like somewhere in the middle of the year. Anyways, for this one, this is the HG Yamcha. It's a cool novelty item in which you see basically a beat down Yamcha, which is kind of a little messed up in a way, but funny in certain poses or shots that you take. I think I paid about 45 bucks on this with shipping. It is quite expensive for what you're getting, and it's not even to scale with the popular Dragon Ball figures right now, which is HH Figure Arts. It would have been great if it was, but yeah, so I couldn't recommend it. But I think if it was to scale with Figure Arts, it might be somewhat justifiable. I mean, it's nicely detailed and painted. Even the underside, it's fully painted. So, but still, that price point. Alright, so next up, well, Bandai's Armor Girls project and their take on the Kankuli series. So Yamato, and actually this is Yamato Kai. The first one was quite a bit of an abomination with all the QC issues. The Kai version is actually pretty great, but still, I mean, I'm not too fond of how they did the petals on the hair. It's too gummy looking. But anyways, this is over 100 bucks. Armor Girls project, for the most part, are expensive figures. I mean, I could kind of see why you have a huge battleship compared to the Figmas. But it's just so hard to collect this one's too much. I'm actually gonna hold off on buying AGP Kankuli stuff, but I'll still collect the Figma ones. For that reason, yes, there's so many, and you're shelling out 100 bucks each time. It's not gonna happen. And I think that's about it for the overpriced section. Actually, there's a couple more, but I'll talk about it as I reveal more on this. Alright, so let's go to the next one, which is, before we go to the top, let's go with the notable ones. Alright, so first one, we have the Robot Damashi Funsaiki, which actually could double as another overpriced figure. It is an exclusive, and hence you have to pay the exclusive pricing, which is double the yen price. This one, I put on a notable one since it's actually a great figure. I've had horse figures before, and most of which have articulated legs. And this one does not, and actually a lot of people didn't like that. But for me, it works really well. It makes it more stable, and also the fact that it was lightweight, which another another bad thing for a lot of people, because if you have a light figure, the quality doesn't seem to be there. Hence why a lot of people like Chogokin or the diecast. Having weight on your figure gives it a sense of quality. This is really lightweight, and yeah, it's one of the drawbacks, but which I think the engineering is still good, because you want it lightweight. You don't want it too heavy, otherwise you're gonna be hard, or it's gonna be hard to pose in when it's trying to stand up on hind legs. Overall, I really like this figure, despite my initial claims. But yeah, sadly, I don't think a lot of people will like this figure, especially for the price. Next up, we have the build models. Now, these are really great candy toys, which I kind of started collecting, kind of like Assault Kingdoms, and I really like the design. They're a little cute, and it's just quite adorable. And you can swap, you know, the heads, the body, and the weapons, and yeah, and easy to collect. I mean, part of having a candy toy, it makes it, you know, they're cheap, and you can army build with them too. So yeah, a lot of fun. One of the drawbacks on this one is I initially thought there were puzzles that you have to assemble, which could have been great, but they're pre-assembled. I kind of see why they made it pre-assembled, because there's a lot of small parts, and I don't think a lot of people have that patience to put really, really small parts. Just imagine the vents that you have to put in, or just a little square piece. So, in a way, it's actually good that it was already pre-assembled. Yep. Next one, we have the Polinian Clover. Now, this one's a little different from what I usually collect, but I like it. She's really cute, elegant, and fascinating. And actually, I'm going to be collecting the Polinian series, which we already have Shamrock, which is quite a bit of a surprise. It's a boy. But I cannot wait for the other ones, since kind of like the other one I've collect, the Momo Girls. We're just getting the blanks right now for the basic form, and later on they're going to be releasing the one with the actual accessories or gimmicks. So I cannot wait for those. Yeah, this is a really nice figure, and I would highly recommend getting it if you want to just get something simple yet elegant and fully articulated. Next one on the list, I believe this is made by Master Made, I think, or I forgot the company. But it's the Titans, and it's the super deformed version of the Metroplex. This is really cool. This could have easily been on my top pick, but I didn't put it there since it's got a... Actually, I should have put it there, but I have the limit of what I have. I just want to put the top 10, and this could easily be one of those. But yeah, this is really great. Fully articulated for a super deform. It transformed, has LED, fully articulated hands, the markings. It's a really nice figure. Really cool. So yeah, this is another recommended figure. And we have Figma Saber. So out of the Figmas I've gotten, this is probably one of the cool ones that came out in 2015. Figma Saber. It's with the new body 2.0, which is cool. And yeah, I really like this particular one. Although I had a little bit of issue with mine, the QC issue. I think on the left hand, on the armor, there's a bit of paint pulling. But other than that, it's great. Actually, I think there was a little bit more. I think on the scabbard, there's a little bit of just this paint issues that it's too small to really make a big deal out of it. So that's that. But I think if I got a really nice one without any of this paint issues, I'll probably put this in my top 10. And of course, we have Godzilla Coin Bank by Shine. This is really cool. I really like this one. And it's just one of those that yeah, it has more to offer. It has 4 sequences. The cat one I had before only just does one. I mean, it just grabs the coin. But this one, there's sound, there's music, and there's even a little bit of LED effect. Yep. So it's a really great coin bank. And we have some more here. So I put the Fix line. This is by Good Smile Company. It kind of adds more. Well, actually, how do I put this? I think this is their take on getting people to collect statues, or the more high end of statue figures. Because a lot of people are collecting the Figmas, and they don't really go with the static figure because you can't move them, but they are really highly detailed, and you don't see those joints, those unsightly joints. So there's that trade-off there. But with this one, it's a really cool take since they give you the damaged version as well as nicely sculpted version of the Figma. And plus you can swap out certain pieces like the face. So it's really nice, and it's a lot cheaper too. So for those who are collecting Figma or also in the budget, they have an option, just take this one instead. And I think that it's a really good idea to make this Fix. Yeah. But for me, you get to the trouble of you're collecting the Figma already, and you don't want to buy a second one, a duplicate. So for me, I will be picky on the Fix. If it's a really cool pose, or if it's a character I really like, I'll go for it. Otherwise, I may hold off on that. And I think that's it for the notable list. Now let's get to my top 10. Alright, on to my picks. Let's go with the first one. We have Bandai's 1/12 scale Star Wars kits. And in particular, we're looking at the Stormtroopers. We have the Sandtrooper and the first released Stormtrooper over there. Both are great. In terms of quality, you have that really nice high gloss finish on the surface of the plastic. Really cool. You get to build it, that's another thing. And there's markings and decals. There's plenty of accessories, and even comes with a stand, which you don't get on the Figure Arts or the Black Series. So this is highly recommended, especially if you build kits. I would, recommend this one. I'm actually building the First Order Stormtrooper right here. It's still in the works. Still need to put the markings, and actually I have to paint the weapons on this one. Unfortunately, they're not. It's molded all in black. You have to paint the white parts. So work in progress, but I'll get that review out there eventually. But yeah, I highly recommend getting this ones. Next one, Robot Damashi. Now there's a lot of Robot Damashi that got released this year, or the previous year actually. And one of which I really like is the Zeta. This one I made on my top list because I used to hate the Zeta. I built kits before, particularly the Zeta, and they break. They're too fragile. I can't remember. It was a Master Grade 1.0 Zeta. I think the Zeta A1 Plus, the gray one. Yeah, it was. Well, for the fact it's one of my first kits, but still, it's really fragile. But getting a figure of it, and just the way it was designed, it's not transforming, which I didn't really mind. It's great. It comes with a lot of accessories, and easily one of my top picks. Well, also the fact that when you add the decals, it makes it a lot better. There you go. But yeah, Robot Damashi Zeta, it's a really nice figure. I really like it. Which made me get the Foz, the full armor double Zeta, and the enhanced one. Right, next one. And we have True Force Mega Man. This is actually, could easily go to the overpriced section also. They're really pricey, but seeing that Sentinel kind of help out make this kind of explains why. But these are really highly detailed Mega Man figures for the current market right now. I mean, before it was a D-Arts, but even then you cannot or actually right now it's hard to get that D-Arts Mega Man X now. It's Yeah, but yeah, this is really nice. I'm really happy I backed the Kickstarter. I get the chance to collect the variants. It has everything on the package. You get the effect parts, the stand, and it has a cool LED gimmick, and the articulation is great. Diecast parts, the ratio is just right. Overall, I really like this, and yeah, easily on my top 10. Next one, obviously, Play Art Sky, Darth Vader. Out of the 4 they've released so far, this is the best. Just in terms of the overall sculpt, I didn't have any issues with this one. The other one's Stormtrooper. It's I don't know, some of the armor is kind of lanky. Boba Fett's helmet is too small, and Darth Maul's neck. There are a few issues here and there, but for Darth Vader, nothing. It's nice. I really like it, and it comes with effect parts. Comes with a separate the lightsaber, which with effect parts right here. Also comes with the kind of like the Force, the purple flame on his left hand. It's overall great, and they gave you plenty of hands, so you're not like, oh, they only give me this set of hands. So overall, Darth Vader Player's Card is one of my top picks. It's great figure. Next one, we have Sentinel. And then we have the re-edit line. This is the Extremis armor. I think I mentioned in my previous videos that I really like the, what do you call that one? Was it the Bleeding Edge? There we go. Trying to think of it. I actually like the Bleeding Edge a bit more, but in terms of overall armor design, I have to give it to the Extremis armor, especially the legs and the shoulder. It's actually pretty cool. And the shifting, there's actually a spring-loaded part here that kind of keeps it, the joint there covered. It's great. I'm just not too fond of the yellow LED, but but that's a little minor thing. But overall, this is great, and I think this is the point where they've just balanced out the diecast parts, because the armorized one is just too heavy. This one is just right, and easily you can post this without much problem, and I really like it. And this gets me hooked on collecting all of the re-edit lines. And actually, I could have said the War Machine also, but actually, well, for this particular one, pretty much any re-edit line, this is my top picks. I'm just gonna group them all together. Alright, so next one, figure arts. We have Captain America here, right, the one in the middle, and it's probably the best figure arts right now. Although I think they're making a new one, a new mold with a different face, and I think with an unmasked version also. I just saw promo pictures of that one, and this is really great. This, I believe, the best action figure for Captain America. It's nicely done. Although mine has a few minor issues, which I could. It's just QC issues. It's really hard to incorporate the QC issues with my overall pick, but it's a minor thing. I had a little scoff off the head there, but overall, it's a great figure. Fully articulated. The shield is nice, and overall, it's just a great figure. Easily in my top 10 also. But yeah. I cannot say the same thing with the Figma. The Figma looks horrible. Yeah. I should have put that on my worst. I can't remember it was released this year also. It might have been. Huh. I forgot. Moving on. And this is the SH Figure Arts Dragon Ball series. We have Goku, the Awakening version. And yes, this is way awesome in terms of resculpting of Goku's body, finally. But it seems like it's only for this one, since the Super Saiyan God Goku, he went and reverted back to the horrible arm molding. But yeah, this is really great, and Probably the best SH Figure Arts Dragon Ball to date, unless they revamp or redesign the the regular version here. But in terms of joint placement, it's great, especially the hip. Overall, even the painting, got that nice shading here and there. Yeah, it's great. Highly recommend getting that one. And if you're just starting out, get that one first, especially right now before the price goes up again in terms of demand and supply. Alright, so next up, this is probably, could easily go to the overpriced, but it's hard to say this is overpriced because you're getting a huge box. And when you unpackage this, there's so much artwork, and you can actually shift the box around, and there's actually a really cool, like a background, like a little diorama. And this is so awesome. And on top of that, you have posters, and I think you also have a digital media. And inside, you're getting a really nice figure, and the pilot is fully articulated. It has a working cockpit, modular weapons that you can peg in and out, and which opens up to new possibilities of future release of this. So definitely well worth how much I paid for this, even though it is quite steep, but it's really nice, and I cannot wait. Once they make more of this, they've been teasing us with with the future releases, and hopefully this year, 2016, they've released a couple. And hopefully it's in in good what do you call this? Well, in terms of timing, it's not like, oh, they're gonna release 5. I mean, if they keep the same price point, I would like to see at least 2 in a year, 1 or 2. Good pacing, I guess. But yeah, really nice figure. Highly recommend getting this one. And did I mention the name? Yeah. Our Marauders Bellerophon. There we go. Alright, next up, obviously, I gotta put this on my top 10. This is my first Hot Toys. And we have the Aardman Mark 43. This is quite amazing. Having this as a first Hot Toys, it's just awesome. Although a lot of the Hot Toys have that more of the movie accurate, you have the clothing. I chose this one, which has the die-cast parts, so it's a little different side on Hot Toys. But other than that, it's great in terms of the details, the LED gimmick, the articulation, not to mention Robert Downey Jr.'s likeness on the face. It's just amazing, and well worth it. Considering the price point of this, it's around close to $300. And comparing it with the other figures I bought, like the Dan Kuga or the Bellerophon, I think you're getting more out of this one in terms of how popular it is and the gimmicks. But it's a little different from the Bellerophon though. But yeah, it's just an amazing figure overall. I like it. And moving on. And this is the last one. We have the Mel Build Destiny Gundam. And this one is the Hain Western Plus Custom, which is the orange variant. And I'm so happy they made this. At that time, it's really hard to get the Mel Build, or actually earlier this year, yeah. It's really hard to get the Mel Build Destiny. Sorry, I'm still in 2015. I keep saying earlier this year, but earlier last year. There we go. It's hard to get this since it was already got released, and again, you're playing with supply and demand. You're looking at around $500 just to get a Mel Build Destiny, the original colors. That's ridiculous. But I heard they are going to reissue that one, which is great. I still want to get the original color. And plus, they're gonna make the Wings of Flight. But yeah, they released this one as an exclusive, and I tried the hardest way, and thanks to my friends who have informed me where to get one. And yeah, finally got one, and this is so amazing. I'm finally getting an orange Destiny. For me, Destiny, Despite not really liking the anime series, I like the design in Gundam Seed and Seed Destiny. Destiny is just the right design in terms of the wings. I like it. It's not too much or too little. Yeah, in terms of comparing this Wing Zero Custom or the Victory Gundam or Strike Freedom, it's just right, and hence why I really like this design. Now, also, before I wasn't too fond of getting a metal build. I just recently started getting Robot Damashi back then, but I wasn't too keen because, for one, it's a bit expensive. You're looking at around $200 to $300, and plus, it's not that different from a master grade. But something that you cannot get is the finish. It's so nice. He has die cast, as well as the paint and the markings, and as well as the details. It's way different than the regular master grade. And plus, you're getting all these cool gimmicks here and there. So definitely well worth getting a metal build for those who hasn't or is thinking about it but wasn't too sure. If you have the money, go for it. But due to the fact that they are expensive, you might want to wait, because I think they make at least one or two a year. They might make one that you like, so eventually they will release one, hopefully. But yeah, this is probably my favorite figure of the year, the Mel Build Destiny Gundam, the Hein Weston Plus Custom, orange, obviously my favorite color. Yeah, so that's about it for my list. Hope you guys like this one, and on towards to the new year, which hopefully you get to see more innovation in figures. Kind of wondering how the other figure lines will continue on. Speaking of which, I didn't really see much SH Monster Arts. Most of them are reissued, with the exception of the Mecha King Ghidorah. That didn't make it in any of the list since it's borderline expensive, but you're getting so much out of that, and it just doesn't quite have that effect as the other ones. Yeah, unfortunately. But yeah, and what else is there? The Sailor Moon. Yeah, I should have put that on my bottom of my list, but the Sailor Moon figures, just nobody wants them. They're great figures, just nobody wants them, and it's a little bit of disappointing. And yeah, there's so much figures. It's really hard to keep up with this review, or the way I review them. Anyways, that's about it, and I'm starting to think what else I can say on this. But yeah, hopefully we get to see more figures in the future. Maybe they'll make more figure line. They always tend to do that. Even in mall kits, Bandai always tries. Yeah, we'll make another scale or another grade, just to change things a bit. Anyways, that's about it. Let me know what you guys think. If you have your top picks, let me know what you really enjoyed or getting for the past year, 2015. Otherwise, if you could also tell me what's your worst pick, that'd be great. Anyways, that's about it. Hope you guys like this one again, and I'm dragging on. Alright, so until then, this is Meads. Thanks for watching.